pretty much, let's just start right at the front here. So this would be the corpus callosum, all right? This would be the fornix, all right? And inside here, you would see some of the black stuff that I'm pulling out here would be the choroid plexus, right? All right? And this chamber then will be the lateral ventricle, all right? The septum pellucidum is on this side of the deal. You see it? It's really blocking this because it's hard to cut in the middle. So most of the time you cut it and it goes to one side because it's very thin. Structure separating the lateral ventricles. Septum pellucidum, all right? And then, of course, like we were talking about earlier on, this little dot up in front of the thalamus would be the anterior commissure, all right? And this will be the fornix on the bottom, fornix. All right, this, of course, this circular is the thalamus, and under it will be the hypothalamus. All right, and then if we, can you get that? And if we go here, we'll see the pineal body right here. Do you see it? And then this will be the one going down, posterior commissure, and then this will be the corpora quadragemina, right? And this will be the anterior colliculus, right? And then this ventricle here, right under the cerebellum would be the fourth ventricle. Excuse me. And this up here would be the third ventricle. So we got lateral ventricles, third ventricle, fourth ventricle. Right? And then this is the cerebellum, of course. And then if we were to close it up, I mean, we can see the bits of the optic chiasma here, right? Yeah, better. So we close it up, and you see if I put a pin like right there on this hump in the middle, that's will be the vermis, and this is the cerebellar hemisphere. This is the cerebrum, okay? So, and then this part here would be the parietal lobe. This part down here, up front, is the frontal lobe, and this towards the back. So if I put a pin like towards the cerebellum, that's the occipital. If I put a pin down here, that will be the temporal. If I put a pin like up here, that will be the parietal. And then if I was to say, maybe I put a pin here, I'm kind of in the frontal lobe, right? But I'll ask what's that structure there, or that bump or something. And then you say gyrus. And then I might put a pin here, and I'll say what's that groove or whatever. And then you say sulcus, all right? Okay, so there will be a distinction between the lobes and the other structures, right?
Can you do the pons, midbrain, and medulla?
Okay, so if we go back to the back of it, if you see the last thick part of it,
Medulla.
would be, it would be the medulla, because she was asking about the pons, midbrain, and medulla. So this will be medulla, and as it tapers,
Part of the spine.
that's the spine, spinal column, right? Spinal cord. So if I put a pin over here on the last thick part of the brain, and I say, what's that cranial nerve? You know to say hypoglossal, in number 12, right? X11. That would be the Roman notation for that. So this would be
Pons.
the midbrain,
Oh, midbrain.
and the pons will be right here. This
yeah.
this kind of thing that looks like even on the picture it looks like that. This lump here, this is the pons, this is the midbrain, and this is the medulla oblongata. All right? Okay, and this mammillary body and them are here, and the pituitary would stick out on this middle part. But it's cut off, okay? It's not there, so I can't take it for the exam. And then we said about this stump towards the back, if I put a thingy there, a pin, and I say, what's that cranial nerve? Trigeminal. If I put a pin here, you guys didn't cut this. Do you have a scissors? Can I have that? All right. Do you see how it's all separated here? Do you see how you got the optic here and the thing? So what I usually do is kind of cut it like that, right? So that this stump up here would be the trigeminal. And you can see the optic coming out here. Do you see it? So what you need to do is shave all this gunk here, as much as you can. You see how I shaved and left this optic? You see, all this is excess stuff, So since this, I'm going to use this for the thingy, I'm going to cut all this excess stuff off. Do you now see how the optic kind of comes here and really goes straight out? And you can even see the end of it right here. You see the optic? Okay, so this stump here, it looked like it was one mass before I cut, right? I can even do on this side and kind of put my scissors through there and cut so that I can separate the optic down here and the oculomotor up here. So you see what I'm saying? Optic, oculomotor, trigeminal, hypoglossal, olfactory.
Olfactory.
So those are the 5 who will come, and I promise you that you will see them there.
Are
So
we gonna
you,
have to have the optic track?
Or the optic
well, I
chiasm.
mean, once I ask you
The whole
optic
thing?
nerve, really, I'm satisfied.
The optic
Okay.
chiasm.
Because it's like beating a dead horse.
Okay.
Keep